plaintiff, Melinda Salazar, says while dating the defendant, his ex-girlfriend reached out to her and claimed that she was still having sex with him. Melinda claims she and the defendant broke up after he assaulted her, and she's suing him for attorney fees and car repairs. Defendant Gabriel Flores insists Melinda is the one who was messaging her married ex-boyfriend behind his back. Gabriel denies assaulting Melinda and says he simply restrained her in self-defense, and he claims she's suing for more than he owes.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I met Gabriel, started dating probably around September 2020. He had a contagious energy. I was quickly smitten.
Certainly some contagious stuff going around. When you all meet in September, at the height of COVID?
We primarily met on a dating app. He promised a lot of things that I fell for. He would say that, Melinda, I would give you the world if I could. I fell for it. I fell for him. The relationship moved pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. How was it going while it was moving fast?
It was going pretty good until a couple of months into it. Red flags started coming up.
Object, Your Honor.
You haven't heard what she said yet. Now, what red flags did you see?
So anytime that I went out with friends, he would FaceTime me to make sure I was out with friends or make sure there was no males around. So it was a huge jealousy issue. But in turn...
You didn't object to that?
In turn...
I didn't give him a chance. Do you object to that? You object to calling her all the time, wanting to see if men are around?
I'm letting her state her statement because whenever I talk, I want her to let me talk.
In turn, at the same time, I had been getting texts, phone calls, all kinds of social media from an ex-girlfriend of his. While he's sitting there being jealous for me, I'm getting an ex-girlfriend saying that she's spending time with him, she's sleeping with him, and when I am not with him, she's with him.
Let me let him talk a little here.
Right. Okay, she's right. We clicked. In October, the following month, it moved so fast that I introduced her to my kids. My kids loved her. She loved my kids. She was good. She's a good woman. She is. She actually is. But we got into an argument. So she was taking a shower, and I said, man, I never looked at her phone. She wants to say I'm jealous and I'm this and I'm that. I never looked at her phone till finally I said, you know what, let me look at her phone.
You asked, you said?
No, I looked at her phone without permission while she was taking the shower. Right. So I was looking through it, and her ex-boyfriend, which he's married, was messaging her from December, 3 months earlier.
Saying what? What did you see? What did the messages say?
Hey, how you been? Merry Christmas, and her responding, and then finally I guess he got comfortable with her because she was responding to him. He started asking her, hey, let's go have drinks, let's go meet up, blah, blah, blah. One thing I do give her that she didn't meet up with, have to go have drinks.
And what was my response?
Why are you mentioning it then?
What was my response?
Because
you're mentioning it to say you had a loyal woman. That's what he's mentioning.
No, because she was.
What was my response, Gabriel?
Your Honor, because she was entertaining him.
What was my response?
If she didn't want to talk to him, she would just say, you know what, do not text me no more.
Why?
Why does she want to talk to a married man, to her ex-boyfriend? You never know. They might spark up something.
Because perhaps...
So, Your Honor...
because you might be right, but they were friends probably before. Some folks who were in relationships maintain a friendship. Some don't.
But one text, she had told him, hey, does your girl know that I'm messaging you? And he said no. And then he told her, does your man know that I'm messaging you? And she said, no, he doesn't. He knows I'm a good girl.
Well,
but she shouldn't be messaging.
That's him trying to be sneaky.
Yes, he is.
It still's not her trying to be sneaky. That's him.
You know how men could be.
She can't help because she's fine and she got a good personality. She can't help who she is.
Your Honor.
She can't help because all her exes want to come back. She entertaining. Yeah, I listen to him to keep him from jumping off the cliff. She don't want him to jump. All right, all her ex want to jump because they lost her. They want to jump. Baby, can I have you back? I'm gonna jump off the building if you don't come back.
But he's married. How could he want her? I mean, how could he? He just wanted her on the side. He just wanted to talk to her on the side.
What was my
Somebody talk-
response, Gabriel?
But you entertained him.
What was my response, Gabriel?
Well, so our relationship started going.
Answer the question.
What was your response to what?
When he
Going out
said,
for
let's go to
drinks.
dinner
She
or
said
have
no.
drinks.
She would say no. She said no.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
You know how men could
She
be so-
can't help because she's fine and she got a good personality. She can't help who she is.
Your Honor.
She can't help because all her exes want to come back. All her ex want to jump. Because they lost her, they want to jump. Baby, can I have you back? I'm going to jump off the building if you don't come back.
Defendant Gabriel Flores is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims Gabriel assaulted her, but he insists he simply restrained her in self-defense.
Go ahead. What else you have on her?
Well, so things started going bad from there, and then yes, she didn't mention the dates, but yes, that's whenever I started talking to my ex. They were responding to me. They were talking to me, so I was talking to them too. And then she I guess texted her and was telling her all kinds of lies that I was with her as well, and I wasn't because I wasn't. Your Honor, I spent my time with her, and she knows it.
You got more time. Don't you go to work?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, you can do your thing at work. Don't come in here with that. Ain't nobody crazy.
In June, it was my turn to have my kids for the whole month of June. So since I have to work, because I drive for a company, I'm a truck driver. She's working from home, so we made an agreement, and she agreed to take care of my kids while I'm working. On the first week of June, she makes a bundt cake, and she feeds my kids bundt cake for breakfast.
Feed them what?
A bundt cake. Yes, she made a cake,
No different than a donut.
That's what I was about to say. That sounds appropriate.
Well, I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was a healthy.
All right, so then what? What did you turn that into?
Well, I didn't think it was a healthy
What
break.
did that turn into? What type of argument?
Well, we got into an argument about that. We got into an argument about that.
Some old
We got into an argument about that, and she told me to get out, so I left. And I ain't talked to her ever since then.
So can I?
You sound more petty than me. I'm petty, but I'm not that
He's the
petty.
king of petty.
My goodness, you're the king.
Can I continue on my case, Your Honor?
Yes.
So Gabriel does have 9 children, of which only 4 is he a part of, and it's the minor 4 that I did become really close with, and they are a part of my
Your
home.
Honor, but I do support all my children. That's for a fact.
So, once again, he only has a relationship with the bottom 4.
Well, as long as he pays for all of them,
The top 4, they're adults already. They're all over the
No,
age of 18.
not all of them.
Your Honor, what's that got to do
he lives with his mother.
her and I mean, what's...
All right, it's getting worse and worse.
No, it's not. my older children don't have nothing to do with her. My older children don't have nothing to do with her.
You're going down and down. Now you live with your mother.
So the youngest 4 live with their mother. Friday nights, when he would get them for the entire weekend, he would have me meet him somewhere so that he could either go play poker on Friday nights or he can go do whatever he wanted to do on Friday nights and leave me with all 4 kids.
That's a lie, Your Honor. That only happened twice, and that was
all
towards
right,
the end
we're
of our
going to get to the
relationship.
attorney fees that you're suing about in the car repairs. What happened?
So it was in November of 2020 that the baby's mother wanted to start taking him and for him to start getting all 4 children, the child support with visitation. So she wanted that in black and white, and she's a very intelligent woman. So he was like, I need to get an attorney. I said, okay, we'll get an attorney. You can pay me back when you can pay me back.
How much?
The attorney was $1,500. So about a month later, his car breaks down. He needs to get it fixed. He has got to go to work. He makes promises. The total that I paid was the $6,365.31.
Okay, $65.31.
Yes, sir.
And you're only suing for $33.95.
Yes, because he's made payments.
Okay, there you go, sir. What do you say to these two things?
Well,
attorney fees and
Your
car
Honor,
repair?
first, the attorney fees. I don't recall saying that I was going to pay her back. I said I needed help, and she said, "Hey," because she's a nice person. She said, "I'll help you with the."
So you needed help time you got with her?
No. I mean,
This
it's just
is less than 60 days.
But it all fell in that time frame.
He needed help.
Yes, but it all fell in that time
Okay, so
frame.
when
yes.
ma'am, he needed help time you started dating him. Go ahead. And you knew that? Go ahead.
So the $1,500, I took it as a gift. And then the following month, when my car broke down, so I told her, look, I'll start making payments, which I did. I have evidence that I started paying.
What page?
If you look on one, you can see all the dates, and right next to it, you can see the amounts.
Okay.
And it totaled to $3,945.
All right, but the total amount was $6,000, right?
Yes, sir. Well, see, back to that, I had to go over my parents' house with my kids. I couldn't work for the whole month of June, so I got behind on bills. I even got behind on child support payments. So I told her,
You were behind on all that when you met her, and it had anything to do with you losing anything. You were already in bad shape when you met her. I don't know why she bothered with you anyway.
Your Honor, I wasn't behind in payments before I met her, and she knows.
Within 60 days you were.
Yes, no. I'm talking about in child support in June.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about with your bills. You're playing poor mouth right now. You're telling me why you can't pay her. It's my kids. I lost my job. I had to do that. That's what I'm referring to. You didn't have anything when you met her. So it wasn't about you losing anything. You never had it from the time you met her. Otherwise, you wouldn't need $1,500 from her within 60 days. You know, people don't go broke in 60 days.
Well, okay, Your Honor. So I got more behind my bills in June, so I couldn't pay her. I stopped making payments. I said, I need more time to pay you back. So 2 months later, in August, I'm being sued.
Ma'am?
If you'll look at my
page. I appreciate you not getting too been out of shape about me.
No, sir.
Coming down on you a little bit.
No, sir. I mean, you're right.
You got a good temperament. I don't, and you do. That's a good thing. Appreciate that.
No, I respect you, sir. I'm not here to argue with you.
People don't go broke in 60 days.
I got more behind my bills in June, so I couldn't pay her. I stopped making payments. I said, I need more time to pay.
Ma'am?
If you'll look at my page.
I appreciate you not getting too been out of shape about me.
No, sir.
Coming down on you a little bit.
No, sir. I mean, you're right.
You got a good temperament. I don't, and you do. That's a good thing. Appreciate that.
Defendant Gabriel Flores is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims Gabriel assaulted her. But he insists he simply restrained her in self-defense.
Go ahead, ma'am. You tell me.
So I beg to differ on the temperament. Mm-hmm. If you want to take a look at page 18 through 20, you can see that he is pretty much abusive.
Physically abusive?
Physically abusive.
I object, Your Honor. I never touched you.
On page 19, apologized for being outbursts. On page 21, he has an arrest for an assault. On page 20,
with who? May I ask with who? Who do I have an arrest?
You don't want us to say it in court out loud, sir.
And also on 18. Now, I would have more documents had he not pushed me down at one time and erased every single text that he had texted me because he was angry at me at one time.
That's a lie, Your Honor. I never pushed her down.
Gabriel,
what happened, she came towards me to try to slap me, and I grabbed her arm, and I pushed it away, and she lost her balance, and she fell down. Now, she called the cops that night, and what happened that night? Did I go to jail? No, I didn't, because there was no proof that I did nothing to you. I didn't hurt you. I didn't touch you.
You did hurt me. There's proof I didn't. Right there.
That's not me.
Okay, Gabriel.
Where did I hit you? Where did I hit you?
You can see that he is trying to claim things like gifts that he gave a birthday gift to my daughter.
I'm still looking at these this domestic violence allegations you made. He has such good temperament here.
He does.
Here he's beating women on the side.
He's smitten us all.
And that's typical of women beaters. They don't have bad temperament with men. Nonetheless, how do you tell me about the attorney fees? You've thrown me off with that. You probably should have given me that information in the beginning so I wouldn't have been so lighthearted about this case and treating him like he's such a decent guy. Because, sir, you do have 4 instances.
So if you look at page 45 also, the ex-girlfriend that contacts me, you can see that this is one of the instant messengers that she says, I'm sure He tried to push, slap, or something to that nature as he did me.
I'm sure he did the same number on you and flattering you with who you're talking to. Let me see. Why didn't you pick up? Prove things to me. Show me. Keep me on the phone till you get home. Keep me on the phone while you're working. Who you're flirting with. Why you want to hang up. I'll hold. Later, girl. His game. This is someone else who describes exactly what she described you've done in a relationship with her, sir.
That's a lie.
But that's not why we're here. We are here, however.
I never put a hand on you. I never did. Oh, yeah, then how come I didn't go to jail that night?
Now,
then?
with regard to the balance, ma'am, on the payments, he did pay $39.45?
No, he paid $2,970.
No, I've got proof right
That's
here.
my page one.
You say you have proof?
Yes, sir, right here.
And yeah, you did pay me total payments made. What do you have, ma'am? Any record of any monies? Is there a list or a payment schedule that you put together?
On page one, it's all the 250s. Sometimes he would pay 150. And sometimes he'd pay 50 or 100. Gabriel's trying to keep everything that he paid through PayPal. That is not accurate. There were some times that he just needed money. He asked me for money to gamble. There was some times that he would send me money to get pedicures.
I object, Your Honor. I never did ask her for money to go gamble or pedicures. All this right here is what I paid you back.
You show, ma'am, the last payment being
5/21.
May 21, correct?
5/21, yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's $100.
The last $100 in June
of 21.
The last $100 in June, if you'll look at page 17, was a gift to my daughter.
Page 17, how does that tell me that?
It says, just sent you $100 for Tori's birthday. That's my daughter.
Yep. And you put it down as a repayment, sir.
What day was that? What day was that?
You heard the date. I seen and heard enough. Okay. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. Bye-bye.
I just hope he stops. Really.
Stop what?
Just stop, Gabriel. Stop abusing women. It's not just me.
I don't abuse women. If I abuse women, how come I'm not in jail?
Good question.
You're talking about something that happened 30 years ago.
Regardless, it's still happening.
Well, no, it's not still happening because I learned my lesson when I was 19 years old. I'm 49 years old.
You're getting away with it.
Getting away with what? You lied. I didn't even touch you.
Plaintiff Anisha Jackson says the defendant is her son, and he's an amazing child, but he won't stop smoking weed. Anisha claims the defendant has wrecked multiple vehicles while driving under the influence, and she's suing him today for breach of contract. Defendant DeMonte Barfield admits that he likes to smoke weed, but insists he is a responsible father who is raising 3 boys on his own. DeMonte insists his mother is suing him for more than he owes. Start with you.
So, Judge Mathis, I'll give you a little background on my family. My husband and I have 8 children. We became really close in October 2012 when my daughter Mercedes was ran over by a neighbor while playing outside. We received no justice for Mercedes from the DA's office in the county we was in Georgia. She just called us and told us that we were in a military community and to not bring shame to the military, that they were not going to file any charges. She spoke to the gentleman that killed my daughter, and he stated that he meant to run her over, but he meant to run her bike over, but not her. In that moment, I realized that my kid's life had no value to the justice system in Georgia. So I became their mommy and their best friend to not bury another one of my children. We set up a scholarship fund at the local high school in Mercedes' honor. And I learned how to forgive so that I could find my healing to move on. Monte is the 3rd oldest of our children. And he's an amazing son. He just have his downfalls. He won't stop smoking weed. In high school, Monte, he wrecked his car that we bought him because he was high. So we went and bought him a pickup truck. And he wrecked it too, smoking weed. And he always would tell us a cat or a dog ran out in the street in front of him.
Now, when he
So my
have the
hus-
accidents, did the police ever come?
One time, yes, sir, we had to pay a $500 fine.
Okay, for driving while impaired?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right.
Sir.
He's shaking his head
So-
over here, no.
Okay.
He's an amazing son. He just have his downfalls. He won't stop smoking weed. In high school, Monte, he wrecked his car that we bought him because he was high.
The police ever come?
One time, yes, sir, we had to pay a $500 fine.
Okay, for driving while impaired?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir.
He's shaking his head
So-
over here, no.
Plaintiff Anisha Jackson says the defendant is her son, and although he's a good kid, she claims he is a weed head who has wrecked multiple vehicles while driving under the influence.
Go ahead, sir.
Neither time that I was in an accident, I was charged with driving while impaired. I've never been charged with driving while impaired.
Because he was a minor.
What were you charged with?
I was charged with failure to drive with due caution.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am. He says that's not true, but go ahead.
Okay, so my husband told him he had to do something with his life because he was a very intelligent boy. He was too smart to just throw it away. So Monte, he joined the Army, but his weed habit kicked back in, and so he got out. He taught himself over
What do you mean
time.
by got out? Did they get kicked
I was
out?
discharged.
Yes, sir.
All right, well then say it. You say what?
Before I
Okay.
came home for Christmas, I did not want to be in the military anymore.
Oh, so
main
you didn't
reason why
get kicked out.
I did. I
Well, you
joined the
didn't have a
military.
choice. Whether you wanted to be there or not, you didn't have a choice. You were gone. Go ahead, man. I'm talking about I didn't want to be there in the first place. No, you weren't going to be there in the second place. Go ahead. Everybody say that after they get kicked out. I didn't want to go to school no way. All right, go ahead. man.
Monte taught
That was you gonna say when you
himself
get
how to
locked
be-
up? I didn't want to be free anyway. All right. Go ahead, man.
So Monte, he
Let's
taught
get back
himself
to the
over time
weed. How
to-
much weed does he smoke?
A lot.
He smoked all the time.
You a weed head?
Yes, sir. If he wake up in the morning, he has to smoke weed. If I make him breakfast, he said, "Mom, hold on. I have to smoke my weed first."
Okay.
I don't
So
much have an appetite. I use marijuana to gain an appetite, but mostly, as far as me smoking weed, at this point in time, Your Honor, I live on my own and pay my own bills and take care of my 3 children
There you go.
alone.
but he borrowed my money to do it.
And I feel like if I'm still providing for them, as long as keeping a roof over their head, keeping food on the table, and doing everything that I have to do, there shouldn't be an issue with me smoking weed.
Well, it's a tough life. That's tough. I'm not. Yeah, I'll give you credit for carrying out a tough responsibility of raising 3 children on your own. So all the credit to you. My mother had 4 boys. She had to be responsible for on her own, but she didn't smoke weed to get to make sure we did right. Well, at least I don't think she. As far as I know. She come home,
Hey,
my eyes
Judge,
would be red a little
I
every now and then, but I thought it was from working too hard. Now you got me thinking. How old are your children? How old are your children?
I have a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. They will be 6, 4, and 2 this year.
Okay, so nobody's in school yet.
No, sir.
Okay, so we don't know how your habit is going to affect their education.
No, sir.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So Monte came to me in November of 20 and asked me if I could pay on his water bill. It was $325. And then he came back a week later and asked me if I could pay his cell phone bill, which was $150. Then his light bill became due, and he said, "Mom, I know I owe you the money, but can you pay my light bill?" It was $150. Well, they then had another baby, and he needed a bigger car. So in January, he said, "Well, we got to put the money down on the car." So I already knew what that meant. "Mom, you got to put the money down on the car." So he said, "It's $1,000. I said, "Okay, well, when are you going to pay me back?" He So I'm going to pay you back when I get my stimulus check. Then he came to me and said, "Mom, I need some groceries and little odds and ends stuff in January as well." And I gave him another $500. So his stimulus check came and everything. And I said, "Monte, when you going to pay me back?" Monte told me, you see in the text, Judge Mathis on page 4, he said, "I'll give you a little $5 a month."
Okay.
He makes good money. He's an electrician, Judge Mathis. He makes good money. It's just to get him to pay for anything he's not going to do. He'll rather look at his money sitting in his account before he pay you back.
Or at the weed man's house. Okay. Doesn't it sound like he can afford the children he's already produced? If he has to go back to mommy,
yes, I can.
if he has to go to mommy and get the water bill paid and his lights kept on, that means mommy is taking care of the children. Do you owe mommy? Tell me about you owing mommy. Did mommy ever loan you some money?
Yes, sir. My mom did loan me money, and I believe that I only owe my mom.
But he said if I want my
$64.
money back, I shouldn't have had him.
No,
he said you shouldn't have had him as a child if you wanted some money back.
That is my job to take care of him because I had him. If I wanted my money back, I shouldn't have had him.
He told you that when he was a child or a kid. Not as
No, he told me that a few months ago.
Plaintiff Anisha Jackson says the defendant is her son, and although he's a good kid, she claims he is a weed head who has wrecked multiple vehicles while driving under the influence.
Go ahead, sir. Did you tell your mother she should be taking care of you?
Judge, I told my mother that as a joke. It was not a statement of which saying I would not.
And then her giving you money for your bills and you not paying is a joke too? You just decided to fulfill the joke.
No, sir. That's not how it happened.
Tell me how about the money?
My mom did allow me to, she loaned me some money for my bills, but me and my mother have this relationship where it's been for a while. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. So if she needs money for her bills, which she has before, and she's called me and I've loaned her the money for her bills with no issue. We've taken care of each other. And
but I just take care of him more.
Okay, he said he has to take care of you sometime.
Well, tell him to show it to us because I need to see it too.
She said that's not true. And it does sound odd to have a husband and the son has to take care of him. If I hope I can pull that off, is that what I can do that? Linda go? You think Linda go for that?
No.
You don't think Linda I can tell her let Amir take care of it?
No, she ain't not gonna bite on that. No way.
I'm gonna bring my man as a witness.
You go right ahead.
Go ahead, sir. She says you don't do anything for her, but you believe that you all have a two-way situation. But November water bill $325, cell phone $150, lights $150. Let's go over that first. Did you borrow money for those things?
Yes, sir.
Did you agree to repay her? When did you agree to repay her?
I agreed to repay her as soon as I got the money, Judge.
Okay, and why haven't you?
I have.
You've repaid her all of those things?
Not all of the money, Judge, but I repaid her everything but $62 of it. If you would look at page 5 of what I have turned in, on page 5, you'll see my bank statement.
What does that say?
Allowed her to take $500 out. And she took $563
Okay,
out.
and the $500 you told her to take out as a repayment for what you owed?
When she got the $500, she didn't ask me for it for a repayment of the money that I owed her. She honestly asked me for it to close on her house, along with asking my little brother she needed $2,500 to close on her house. She asked my little brother for $2,000. Well, she asked me for the whole $2,500, but I didn't have it left in my tax.
Okay. So the $500 wasn't to repay her; it was to loan it to her for her home.
And I told her.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And I told her.
All right, we got it. We got that out the way. That means you haven't paid her $500 that you owe her. You should say thank you for the gift. Tell him, say thank you. Say thank you for giving your mama a gift for $500 to help her buy a house. Hey, but then say, but I need my $500 back that I loaned you. All right, go ahead, ma'am. You have your evidence you want to show me? So far,
Yes,
he
sir.
still owes you $500.
What else?
Yes, sir. So Monte owes me way more than what I'm suing him for. It's not about the money or anything. It's just about the principle behind it to teach him that he has to be a man. He has to be responsible to pay for what he asks people to borrow.
That I'm a man, or you wouldn't have your 17-year-old son at my house for me to be raising him. So you obviously believe that I'm a man.
He don't have to be there. I told you he can leave. You started him smoking weed, so I said he gonna stay there with you.
That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. Judge, I would like to submit some evidence to you after this, if you would allow me to, of me having her 17-year-old son and telling her that I would like to go back home.
Quiet, ma'am. Let's talk about that. Was there an agreement for you to take care of her responsibilities?
No, sir. When he was sent to me, I was told that I would have him for 2 weeks.
I got it. So this puts the case in a whole different light about why she would sue you for this little money when you're taking care of her responsibilities. Ma'am, what do you want to say to that?
So, no, sir. He does live with him, yes. But he sends him money for
how much?
It's not like he's taking care of him.
How much per month?
$400
per month
for him. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's what he gets, $400.
And you,
so from
the time he came?
I have not received that, Judge.
Yes, sir.
My mother sent me $200 twice in 2 different months and told me that that's how much the check was. I still have those as a screenshot in my phone right now.
How much do you believe you've received in total from taking care of him?
In total for taking care of him?
Uh-huh.
Judge, about $400. She sent me $200 twice and told me.
Can you show that you paid more than $400 for him taking care of your responsibility?
Yes, Judge Mathis. I have 2 pages of Cash App that I sent to Monte on page 9 and 10.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 700.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up. Plaintiff Anisha Jackson says the defendant is her son, and although he's a good kid, she claims he is a weed head who has wrecked multiple vehicles while driving under the influence.
Now, what evidence do you have of the loan?
If you look on my text message on page 3.
Does it have an amount? Does it show the amount that you're asking for?
No, sir, that's on page 2. That I tell him the amount.
And what does he say?
He said, I'm confused on what you want from me. I ain't got nothing. He sent me a screenshot of his bank statement.
Let me go back over her money transfers to you. Page 9 adds up to about 700. Page 10, what are those monies for?
That's more money that I sent him that he called me for and said he need.
For what?
He just needed. He said, "Mommy, can you send me this amount?"
So are these gifts or loans?
No, that's just gifts. These are gifts to him. And
just
except
because
the one,
he needed
the
some.
200. Yes.
Okay, not because you were paying him $400 a month like you claim.
No, sir, but he knows
I see no reflection of that, ma'am. I see nothing that reflects that. Prove to me that he owes, by evidence, the exact amount that you're asking for the water bill. Show me where he admits to owing $325 for the water bill. He admits to owing $150. He admits to owing $150 for the electric, $1,000 for the car payment, and $500 for the groceries.
The water bill for the the light bill for $150 is on my page 8. And then,
okay, but where did he say he would pay you back? Do you have any evidence where he admits to owing you?
Yeah, no, sir. Just what he told the kids.
And your evidence has been sketchy. Your testimony has not convinced me with your understanding of what is owed and what is paid. All right, sir. What do you admit to?
Judge, I admit to owing her money for my water bill. I admit to owing her money for my light bill. But the car situation, I do not owe her money for.
How about the groceries?
The groceries? Yeah, I'll take that. I do owe her money for groceries.
Now let's get to the car. Why don't you believe you owe for the car?
Because, Judge, the car was not bought in the essence that she's saying that it was bought in. The car was actually bought for my older brother, reason why he's on the contract, the 2015 Mazda CX-5 in question. And Well, he didn't want the Mazda. And my mom said, well, she was like, since y'all need a bigger car for y'all and y'all's kids, why don't you ask if you can take over payment? I made every payment on that car and haven't missed one.
And the $1,000, what was that discussion? Pardon?
The $1,000 was the down payment on the car that she did for him.
Right.
In order
Which you said that you was going to pay back if you took over the car, because could have turned the car back in and got the money back.
No, he couldn't have. That's not how that goes. No, he could not have. Ma'am, you keep saying things that hurts your case more and more. Sir, did you ever agree to pay the $1,000?
No, sir. I told her that me and my brother could work something out if he was willing to work with me. But he
You have any evidence that he agreed to pay the $1,000, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I told him, I said, right now, Monte, you have to pay the $975 plus the $550. I know y'all need the car, so tell me what you can handle till your stimulus come in. That's $1,525. When is the first payment due?
That's you talking.
That's what I told Monte.
And I'm asking you to show me where he agreed to pay.
Plaintiff Anisha Jackson says the defendant is her son, and although he's a good kid, she claims he is a weed head who has wrecked multiple vehicles while driving under the influence.
You keep saying that he agreed to pay $1,000.
I say he knows I gave him that money, and the only reason why is still with him is him and his wife started him smoking weed. And I said, since y'all decided to make him a grown man, then y'all keep him there with y'all.
Oh, okay. Instead of saying, bring my minor back home because he's engaged in illegal activity.
Then who will watch his
Instead,
kids
you
do
say,
it
keep my
daytime?
minor.
Judge, I just like to state this. At the end of the day, this is all monetary. This is my mother, and I love her regardless. I'm going to be here for her regardless. And I'm always going to have a relationship with her. You're the only mom that I get. I only get one mom in this lifetime. And that's irreplaceable. We've been through a lot. We watched your child be taken from us. We watched that happen. I was there with you. Mom, you think that smokes weed, and he really doesn't. You believe that because that's what you want. That's what you think. Mom, I got more respect for you than that. I got more respect for us than that. No matter what happens today on this show, what Judge Mathis claims out, if you need me, you know I'm only a phone call away. And I'm always gonna have your back because you're my mother, and I didn't ask to be here, and you brought me into this world, which means that I'm here for you for the rest of your life.
That still don't make it sense that you lied about the $975 for the car.
Mommy, if you would like, I would pay you the $975 for the car.
Keep it. It ain't even about the money.
It's
about
Mom.
the fact that you don't like to pay people back. You borrow stuff from people. I done took care of your kids. I flew your kids in and took care of them for months while you try to get on your feet.
Well, let me just suggest that you all kind of adjust your thinking in terms of responsibilities. Parents are responsible for minor children up until adulthood. You are responsible for your children, not grandma. Grandma helps, grandma supplements. If you borrow from your mother, you're responsible for paying her back. But, ma'am, you haven't proven your case. Zero. $975 is your judgment for the amount he agreed to pay you. Everything else you've said, ma'am, has been contradictory. You're lucky that he agreed to pay anything. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
I love you, Mom.